Hi everyone, today's recipe is what we call in this house Nana's Special Soup, and my daughter Amy named it that because this is the recipe that my mum has used forever and ever, and actually my granny used to make this soup as well, so it's kind of been passed down through the generations. I now make it, and who knows, maybe Amy's going to make it too. One of the reasons why I'm including this recipe is because it's so good for you. Really packed full of goodness for you. It's extremely easy to make, and it includes lentils as well, which is absolutely brilliant for hormonal balance. A lot of people don't even realize that lentils are so good for you, and I wanted to show that there is a way to put things like lentils into something that you might not necessarily think of, like soup. So these are the ingredients that you will need. Splash of vegetable oil, a large white onion, 1 leek, 3 large potatoes, 4 large carrots, 4 skinless chicken breasts, or I've actually used 2 here, a litre of chicken stock, 80 grams of pearl barley and 80 grams of lentils, or you can do what I've done in this recipe, is actually I doubled up on the lentils, and salt and pepper to season. I like to peel the potatoes and peel the carrots before I chop them up. I just prefer not to have the skins on. So you peel them first, roughly chop them. You don't have to be too precise with how you're doing it. And then in terms of chopping up the onion, again, you don't have to be too precise because you are going to be blending the soup a little bit later on. I've just finished cutting up the onions and the leek. I need to do what Kay Adams does and wear goggles. She wears swimming goggles to do this because she's a genius. So the next thing you need to do is rinse these are the lentils, and rinse until the water runs clear. So if my beautiful camera assistant, Amy, can tip the camera down, and go, just literally keep rinsing. Okay, job done. Okay, so now everything is all chopped and ready. Stuck it all in here, which we may find is actually not a good idea because I forgot that I need to cook everything separately. The first thing you need to do is to heat up your oil. Now it's just a dash of, so just a wee bit, and soften the onions and the leek, which I've really stupidly mixed in with the potatoes. Don't do this if you're making this recipe at home. Don't be a doofus like me. Remember to keep them separate. This is what you call real cooking. See, all the chefs wouldn't make this mistake, or they would hide the fact that they've made a mistake, and I'm not. I'm just showing you how I actually cook, which is haphazardly. Random bit of carrot. Okay, so the onions and the leek are now softened. Now I throw everything else in, which is the potatoes and the carrots, and perhaps a few little bits of onion and leek that didn't make it first time round. Okay, once you've added all of that, including the bits that should have gone in originally, stick in the chicken and stir that through and cook it gently until the chicken meat has started to whiten. So now the chicken has well and truly whitened, add the stock, which I've got right here. There we go. There's a little bit in the bottom, isn't there? Add the stock, season with some salt and pepper. Add your lentils, which you remember you have strained until the water runs clear. Stir kind of it for about 15 minutes. Leave it to do its thing. Just keep checking on it to make sure that the potatoes and the carrot don't go too soft, because you're going to be scooping those out. I'll talk you through that in just a second. So once everything's been bubbling away for about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or so, what you want to do is pick out a whole load, even if you don't get all, it's fine, of the potatoes and the carrots before they get too mushy. This is a trick that my mum showed me, and there is a reason that you are saving these, and it is because once you blend everything up, which you will do eventually with your soup, it's actually quite nice to have a few things in there that give it a little bit of texture, because otherwise it can just be, you know, quite a straightforward blended chicken and vegetable soup. So that is what we are doing now. Literally, just, you see that there? Just taking a load out, put it to one side, and let everything else just crack on. Now this bit is really important. I forgot to do it once, and I cannot tell you how horrible this soup turned out. You actually take out all the chicken and you put it to one side. And the reason for that is when you blend everything up with a hand blender and you don't take the chicken out, it's like it's stringy and disgusting and really quite horrible. Like I say, most of my cooking is quite haphazard, and you know, I'm kind of like, if you miss a bit, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. So that's actually a McLean family motto. It does matter. Yeah, make sure you take out all the chicken. You'll know why if you've missed it. This last bit is like, I don't know, lucky dip for poor quality treasure. It's like a chicken dipper. It's a chicken dipper. I'm alone in the kitchen making myself laugh. How sad is that? The kids were here, they were doing their homework, Amy was helping me do some filming. All gone. All gone. I've been abandoned. And I quite like it. So now you've taken all the chicken out. Take the pot off the stove if you like, if you can't reach. I can't quite reach, so that's why I've had to do that. And then you get one of these. Basically, most of us have one of these. It's just your basic sort of hand blender, and off you go. Basically, you're mixing all of this up until it's a pretty smooth soup. It's not going to be, you know, super smooth, but I quite like it like that. It doesn't take long, just a couple of minutes. So once you have blended it all, like I say, it's not necessarily going to be a really totally smooth soup. There's still going to be some lumps in, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to be adding these bits to it. Remember all the bits that you took out. What I like to do actually is break the chicken up into bits before I put it in, because otherwise they're a bit too lumpy. Look who's just joined me. Hello. Suddenly appeared now that dinner is nearly ready. Are you hungry by any chance?
Feed me.
Yeah, so what I was just saying is break the chicken up before you put it in, otherwise it's a little bit too lumpy. Okay, I have to admit I have been nibbling. The chicken has been broken up. It has been put in. Now it's time to put all these little vegetables back in. There we go. Love my amazing camera work. It's because my 11-year-old camera woman has abandoned me. And there you go. That is it. Just stir it all in. Stir it all in. And that is literally a whole heap of goodness. It makes loads, as you can see. Can you tell I'm filming this by myself on a tripod? It makes absolutely loads. It is so good for you. It's a brilliant broth if you're a little bit under the weather. Obviously, I know I initially started making this for myself because my mum's made it. But I started really getting into it after my operation because it's full of all the kind of goodness you need if you've been under the weather or you're recovering from something. And as we come into winter, it's just a blooming good soup.